Welcome to Calling All Geeks, and thanks for taking the call. I'm Flynn, and with me always, my good buddy Chris.
Yep. Hello. Did you pick up? I'm calling you.
You're calling?
Yeah,
I hear
I
you.
called you. Oh, great. Perfect. Well, I'm here. You're here. We're all
We're
here.
all here.
Yeah. So,
All right, buddy.
What's
Well,
on?
today,
Yeah.
today we are going to talk about the Avengers Endgame.
Hmm.
You've seen the trailer.
I have.
All right. Now, I don't want to break the trailer down. I don't want to do a big review on every little scene.
What?
There's plenty of YouTubers out there doing that. But there are some stuff today I do want to talk about. And particularly, it's the time travel theories.
Okay. Which, yeah. I mean, as a quick thing, I hope that there's a part of me that hopes they don't do time travel because it just feels too obvious. But that's just me.
Well, it does feel too obvious. But there's a lot of, things that they've been kind of throwing out there that kind of hints to they could be doing time travel. Now, there's a lot of different ways that they could undo what Thanos has done, but time travel is definitely one of those. But right now, I think everybody's kind of caught up on this little scene in the trailer with Ant-Man, where he's standing at the door on the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And, I sent you that picture. I think what everyone's looking at right now is if you look up in the top left corner, you see it says Strat 1983 Archive. But that's something,
Oh, this is a Discord? Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah. Now, I'm looking at it. I don't know what you see. You can tell me what you see. I see 1983. I see 1S83. I can see /983.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm not sure that this is any indication that there's time travel.
Yeah, well, I don't see. That just looks like it's some part of the video, like some sort of it's telling you where the file is located or what the file name is.
A location ID.
Yeah.
Right. Because first of all, if this was 1983, we know Avengers facility isn't there in 1980.
Yeah, well, this specific scene looks like it's from the future, like the present. If they go back in time, it would be before they go back in time.
Right, but some people are saying this is him going back in time, and even if this was one of the Stark's warehouses before they turned into a facility, again, how did he get the van there? Because you see the van in the scene, which is the same van from the post-credit scene.
From Ant-Man.
And Ant-Man, I mean, I'm not trying to insult the character, but Scott Lang is no physicist. He's no Tony Stark. He's no Banner. He doesn't know anything about time travel. If he's going to time travel, it's while he's in the quantum realm, while he accidentally slips through one of these time vortices.
Yeah.
Which means the van's not coming with him.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think this is any indication to time travel, but there may be some indication of time travel is going to be part of the story. So that's what I want to explore today is some theories. If they were using time travel, what would they be doing with it? I don't think they're going to be going back killing baby Thanos. Agreed?
Might as well try and kill Hitler while you're at it.
So another option is maybe they're going to go back and try to grab the Infinity Stones before Thanos gets a hold of them.
Yeah. Oh man, I have no idea. Well, it's just again, it all seems obvious, which is the reason why I don't like it. Is because all they're going to do is go back and stop Thanos, and there's tons of different ways to stop Thanos. Each one of them is just as obvious as the next.
It seems that way, yeah.
Yeah, at least it feels that way, yeah.
Right. But if they did decide to go back and try to snatch these Infinity Stones before he gets his hands on them, and I think we agree on this while we don't want to even mess with the time travel, is it gets really messy. And it can get messy really quick, It takes a very creative writer to be able to weave a story within a timeline and not create a bunch of problems.
Yeah, because if they go back in time, then there's multiple Captain Americas, and that could be crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like that's just one problem right there. I don't know.
Here's my big concern if they're not careful is, let's just take the Guardians of the Galaxy movie for example.
Yeah.
Thanos sent Gamora to find the Power Stone.
Yes.
That brings her to cross paths with Quinn,
Mm-hmm.
which then eventually leads to the creation of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on when they go back, but if they go back before those events and grab that Infinity Stone, the Power Stone,
Yeah.
Gamora will still be looking for it, but her path may not cross Quinn's. Guardians may not form, and those movies now have been wiped away.
And then the universe ends because Ego destroys everything.
Do what?
Ego would destroy everything at that point.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He could. Absolutely. That's definitely could be a consequence. Or
Yeah,
if they go back.
If they go back in time, I don't think they go back like that. I think they just go back to right when Thanos is about to try like pretty much kill Loki. Like I think that's when they kind of intervene around that time period. Like when he's just now going out of his way to assemble all the pieces once they've been discovered kind of deal. Or like just to start the big fight, or they would try and gather up everybody to fight him at once as opposed to two separate groups. Like I think it'd be something more on that end, not something like, oh yeah, we're gonna attack him 30 years from now, from in the past. I don't think it's gonna be anything like that.
Well, if they're going to go back, it's going to have to be a scenario where they're going to stop him personally.
Yeah.
Even at that time when you're talking about going back to where, at just basically the beginning of the movie when he takes out Loki, he's still pretty powerful then. You know, Thanos is pretty powerful on his own, but at this point, he's still powerful. I mean, you have to remember this entire movie is about heroes failing and losing from the opening scene to the end.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a point before he acquires any Infinity Stone.
I mean, he might have some of the Infinity Stones, but yeah, I mean, like again, I don't really see what more we could talk about. I mean, they'll go back in time and either they'll stop him before he acquires all the stones, or they'll stop him in the middle of his thing, or maybe they're able to all band together and do like that last battle again. I don't know. Like, it just seems like what else could you do? It just I look forward to seeing the movie, but it just seems so. At least with all the nuggets they've given us, when it comes to, like I said, time travel, just seems so
cliche.
I guess not that cliches are bad, but that it just. I don't mind things being obvious, but there's a line. It just feels like if that's what happened, right? They went back in time, and however they stop him, there's a ton of different ways they could stop him. It's gonna be like, well, no kidding. That's exactly what would happen. Like, or you know what I mean? Like, I could have predicted that. It just feels like it would be a letdown to do something
lazy writing.
Well, maybe not lazy writing because that would imply that they just didn't give a shit about but I would say it would be really good writing because they've just been building it up this entire time to lead to this point where the ending just seems obvious. That's not lazy writing. That's just you foreshadowing so much that I can paint the conclusions myself.
Yes, but it comes lazy writing whenever you just fall back on time travel to undo everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of instances where it's like that kind of sucks. So yeah, if that was your ultimate goal was to just time travel and fix shit, it's like yeah, I guess that is lazy writing because then everything that we've invested in is pointless.
Exactly.
So it's like I think it's so obvious that it's not gonna happen.
Well,
I think it's gonna be something to the degree of like they're just going to go to Thanos and fight him and then get the Infinity Stones and fix everything or something like that. Even that seems obvious.
Well, in the comic, they didn't use the time. It wouldn't involve time travel at all to fix it. And so, if they're not going to follow the comic, and if we've all been misled with the time travel idea, then how would they stop it?
I don't know. Hulk getting his dick out of his ass?
Well, that's a start. I don't know if that's a solution.
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer for this. That's why I'm asking you.
The thing is, like, I can't come up with anything more creative. Like
mean,
like I said, it just seems so obvious that it's like I can't come up with anything. I can't come up with anything better because I wouldn't know what else is better. Like, again, it's either you time travel to fix shit, or you just fight him and then use the Infinity Gauntlet to fix shit, or now you just keep those characters dead. Like, maybe people don't want to admit that that's a heavy possibility, that people could just die, and that's it, which I'd be okay with.
I don't know. There's some pretty good ones in there.
Like, heroes? Yeah, of course there's some really good heroes. I think it would be really good because then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this other Spider-Man movie. We lied. Like, that would be better because it feels like, again, because we know there's a Spider-Man movie coming out, it's just like one of those things like, oh, okay, well, we know he's going to come back. Like, spoiler alert. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, there's no suspense. Yeah, but if they just announced all these movies, but then they were all like fibs, that'd be good.
Right. Yeah, I understand completely. I don't know. I mean, I just kind of assumed if they didn't do time travel, it was going to be Captain Marvel to save the day, right?
Yeah.
Everything they were leading up to.
Well, I think she still will save the day. Like, obviously there will be a savior of the day, but maybe that doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily have all their friends come back.
Well, I'm sure they are. There's too much money to be made off the franchises, but it would be nice if we didn't know, like you said, that there was a Spider-Man and a Guardians movie and a sequel to Black Panther and all of these scheduled. So it would kind of give you a little bit more suspense, like, are they really going to wipe these guys out or not?
Yeah, exactly. I think that was a kind of a mistake to announce those movies. But again, they could just be lying, or they could be lying about some of them.
I don't know. I mean, Kevin Feige has already said that, the effects of the end of Infinity War would be affecting Peter Parker going forward. The producers on the Sony side for that Homecoming said that it would take place directly following Infinity War. So they just kind of blew it all on the ass right there. I mean, we all assumed they were all going to come back anyway, and it's just no suspense.
Yeah, and so it's just like
enjoying the ride at this point.
Exactly, which is fine. I'm not criticizing the movie for that. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Marvel Comics does it so often. It's like, it's not lazy writing. It's just following suit. But it's just like, I can't come up with anything else that I just don't know. I don't know. It would be a pleasant surprise. Like, I'm going to the movie hoping that it's just not the obvious, which gives me a lot of like suspense in itself. Because it's like, man, how are they going to come back from that? But then, which will suck because if it is time travel, or what would be cool is if they go to time travel and they fail. Like, that'd be cool.
The pattern of the first movie.
Yeah, they just start failing, and they're like, "Well, time travel won't work," and then they do something crazy and super heroic, and Captain America dies, and we move on. I don't know. I have no. The thing is, like I said, I just have no idea. Maybe they go to another dimension and get help or some shit, or maybe they replace some of the characters. Like, maybe our dudes are dead, but they go to a different dimension, and then those characters replace our characters, even though they're the same characters.
There was a theory on Reddit, something like that, where those that had died, or were decimated, because that's now the term being used in the MCU, that Thanos' snap is called the decimation now. So there's a theory that they actually all went to another Earth.
Or something like they went inside the Soul Stone or some shit like that too. I heard that one.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it was something similar to that in the comic, I believe. That they had went into the Soul Stone or something. All the souls were trapped. But, I mean, you talk about it being predictable and doing the obvious. I mean,
Following the comic would also be obvious.
But let's just look at the opening scene of the trailer with Tony Stark drifting in space.
Yeah. Which it's like who's gonna save him, right? Since nobody on Earth can get to him, somebody's got to get to him. So that probably means Captain Marvel, I'd imagine, is going to get to him.
Captain Marvel, that's the obvious thing.
Yeah, and so Captain Marvel gets Tony Stark and Nebula, and regroups everybody on Earth, and then
from a story point of view, it kind of makes sense. Whether we see their journey to Earth or they just show up on Earth, at least we know Tony's brought her up to speed. She's not going to be wondering who the bad guy is. No, we're after the big purple guy. But at the same time, it just seems so obvious and so coincidental.
Well, I don't think something like that's bad, like how you introduced Captain Marvel into the Avengers movie being obvious, because it has to happen somehow. And they can just make the obvious awesome. But the thing is, that's not a huge plot point. I mean, it is. But it's not like, how do we fix everything? That's a bigger plot point than how do we introduce Captain Marvel into the fold. Which, if you want to be obvious with that, then that's fine. But being obvious with the main plot of the movie is not fine.
But for me going in, I was kind of wondering, like, well, how are they going to introduce Captain Marvel? That was kind of the big thing that I was just like, yeah, how are they going to introduce her? Well, they just spoiled it. I don't need to watch the movie to answer that.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I don't think the trailer spoiled it. Like, you kind of put the two and two together anyway, right? When you watch the movie, the only two people who survive versus Thanos are Nebula and Tony Stark. So the question's there. It just isn't to the forefront. How's he gonna get home? So
I never put the two to two together. I just figured he'd jump in the ship with Nebula and they'd fly home. That's what I thought. And then I'm just like, okay. Well,
yeah, but they have no pilot.
Huh?
They have no pilot.
I'm sure Tony could figure it out. Come on.
Perhaps.
Nebula could probably knows how to fly a ship.
I don't know. All I'm saying is, like, I mean, you're right. They didn't really tell us that the ship would be, like, out of commission almost. But at the same time, like, again, even if that was the case, you could still just run it. I don't know. Again, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Okay.
I'm just concerned about the main plot. I have no idea how that's going to go down. And I just hope it isn't obvious.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like everything's pointing to time travel.
I know, and that's not... It's not going to be one of those things where it's like, oh, it is time travel, and I fucking leave the movie. I'm pretty... Like, again, they could do time travel, but they could do it in such a way that it's kick-ass. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just... There's a big part of me that's like... The only things I can think of are like... You go back and kill baby Thanos kind of shit, right? Like that kind of stupid shit.
They're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that, but you know what I mean? Like, me as a superhero, that's what my ass would do.
Well, I mean, there's not too many options. I mean, either kill baby Thanos, you acquire the Infinity Stones before he does, or you just stop him before he acquires them.
Yeah, I think
that's all you can do.
I think the Avengers would probably do something on the line of we don't want to do anything that would drastically change the present. So they're probably gonna go back as little as possible.
Yes, but anything they do could drastically change the future.
Well, obviously, but they're not gonna try and kill baby Thanos, and that would disrupt tons of different places as well. I think they're just gonna be like, okay, he's about to start getting the stones. Let's go and kick his ass, kind of deal. That's my guess.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see, and I'm gonna be
There was
excited.
this thing where somebody was thinking that they were gonna go all the way back to like World War II kind of shit. Like they're going way back. I don't know, but they saw like Captain America in like his old armor, looking at Peggy in the watch, and somebody came to the conclusion that he's going all the way back to 1940 something, and gonna use the Tesseract to because that's the cosmic cube to change some shit. I don't know. That was just like some off the wall theory that I just kind of somewhat read. But
And again, that gets risky because if you start messing with the Tesseract and it doesn't end up in Red Skull's hands, Captain America doesn't get buried in the ice for 75 years. And 75 years of Captain America in the timeline could make some huge impact and change in the timeline.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it. Well, okay. I'm pretty sure I know how they're going to do it. It's just how they implement it. I don't know how they're going to do it. Right? So I guess we'll just see.
You want to expand on that, or are you just saying what you've been saying?
I'm just saying what I've been saying. I have really no idea how to elaborate further past that point.
All right. So, what would they do if they didn't use time travel?
Just try and go and kick his ass for revenge. And then probably try to use the Infinity Gauntlet to fix stuff. Like, that's what my that's what my thinking is. They hope to Christ that he takes off the Infinity Gauntlet at some point, and then try to beat his ass. And then use the Infinity Gauntlet to bring everyone back.
Well, I think at this point, the gauntlet's pretty useless. It's kind of charred.
I'm
not even sure it works.
I don't remember.
Remember, it blew up at the end when he made that snap.
Did it blow up? See, I can't remember that. I thought he just snapped and then...
And it was kind of charred up, and even in the new trailer, it looks like it's still kind of charred and burned.
I missed that then.
I think it was just too much power for that gauntlet to handle.
Okay, well then, JK on that. I wasn't paying attention then.
I mean, not to say that he doesn't have a spare.
Yo,
right?
dude,
I mean, there was a gauntlet sitting
pop
in
the trunk. I need to get
vault.
that spare gauntlet out.
I mean, there was the one in Odin's vault that they claimed was fake. We don't know if it was or wasn't. Why was it there if it was a fake? I mean, he could have had more than one made. Who knows? He's thinking ahead, right?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be smarter than we think he is. Or maybe I don't know. No, I don't know. I'd say they could have one made, I guess. I don't know for what purpose.
That could be the other thing, yeah. Well, maybe they can't because that place is dead as hell.
Nah. It looked like it was dead, but they were able to get Thor's axe made from there.
Yeah, but it kind of... I was under the impression that was it. That was like the last effort kind of deal.
It's never the last in the movies.
Fair.
Always something. But you've read the Infinity Gauntlet comic, right?
It's been a long time. As our viewers will probably realize, like I've read a lot of comic books, but it has been a time and a half since I've really read them because I don't have time to read them several times over. But yes, I have read the Infinity Gauntlet.
Well, you have to forget some in order to obtain the new stories. You have to.
Oh yeah, there's so much stuff going on. Yeah, there's so much stuff going on, and like I said in the past, I've been reading a lot more DC stuff recently, so I've been deleting stuff in my limited memory banks to make room for like Dark Knight Metal and shit like that.
So in the comic, and this is a spoiler alert, and it'll be as soon as the next word's out of my mouth.
Well, doesn't what's her face get a hold of the gauntlet? Is that what you're getting at?
What's her face?
Nebula,
yes. Nebula does get hold of it. She sneaks in, she gets hold of the gauntlet, because, you know, she's pissed off at Thanos, which seems to be the pattern that's going in the movie, too.
Yeah.
And then she uses the gauntlet to undo everything that he's done is more of a way to piss him off, you know.
Yeah.
But
Then
once
she goes crazy.
once she gets a taste of the power, she doesn't want to give up the gauntlet. And so now they're in the same boat. They just have to get it from her. And it's not that she's doing anything bad with it, but it's just the fact that it's just too dangerous for anybody. You know, even our heroes, as pure as their hearts, it's too dangerous for anyone to play God.
Yeah. So
And that maybe where they're going with it in the movie. But there's been other things they've left out of the movie, so I'm not so sure.
I just don't know. Like, again, and I've said it before, and there's no point in saying it again. It seems obvious. It's just one of those things where I guess we'll see.
We'll say it 2 more times.
Yeah, it seems super obvious they're going to do something with time travel, or they're going to use the Infinity Gauntlet to fix some shit. That's why it's like, I hope they don't do any of that. But outside of those 2 things, I don't really know what the story is besides stopping Thanos.
Well, of course it's stopping Thanos. But we will find out.
I'm very excited.
It won't be too much longer. I mean...
Is it late next year?
What?
Is it late next year, or is it like May?
I think it's April. Late April.
Really? Hold on. Oh, I hope so. That'd be great.
Captain Marvel comes out, I believe, in February.
Endgame
Captain Marvel
release date. April 26th. Oh, wow. That's coming much sooner than I thought.
Marvel comes out in February, and then that comes out around April. And I'm not, I don't normally get excited about the Marvel trailers. They don't really do anything to excite me, but this one, of course, because we were in the middle of a story.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and it took so much, like 10 plus years of building up to this moment.
10 years, 20 movies, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And that's why I really hate to get into the time travel thing, because if they screw it up, because they're going to screw it up. They're going to think they didn't screw it up, but somebody's going to pick it apart and realize where they screwed it up, and it starts wiping out the movies, and all of a sudden, you've watched all these movies that no longer exist. And nobody's going to be happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to get such a drastic. I don't think that's going to happen.
But I'd like to think that.
Well, sure. I mean, you're right. I would like to think that. Oh, then all they do is they make a new Iron Man 1 movie with not Robert Downey Jr. And you're like, yep, this was our plan all along, to get rid of Robert so we can have a cheap ass Iron Man.
Oh, you mean with the new actor?
Yeah, they just just reboot the whole fucking thing. Stupid.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, they could be doing that.
That would be the dumbest fucking thing.
Or the time travel wiping out those past movies is the excuse why they're no longer in the universe.
I would just think that those characters died. Or will die. I think all of these Avengers will... like all the main Avengers that we've seen, maybe a few of them, like maybe Black Widow and Hulk survive, but like Captain America, Robert Downey Jr., all those dudes, they're gonna die. Hopefully Thor lives, because he's my favorite Avenger.
You saying you think they're all gonna die in Endgame?
Like, yeah, I think a lot of the main characters are gonna die, and then they're not gonna be in any of the future movies. I think they're just gonna be dead. Like the ones that we've had all these movies with. Like, I don't think Robert Downey Jr. or Tony Stark lives. I don't think Captain America lives. I think this is their last movie. And I think they die at the end of this.
I'm not going to say they die, but if Tony died, it would make sense with the story arc. It would work well.
With Tony,
story
yes.
Arc and so forth. Yeah. Because it just seems to me that he's just going around getting everybody to help him clean up his own mess.
Well, that's what he does in the books, too.
Yeah. So it may be a good thing for Earth. But no, I could see him giving the ultimate sacrifice in the end.
Yeah.
But Yeah, but I don't know about the rest of them wiping them out because there's just so much opportunity to use them as small cameos or supporting characters in other movies, kind of like they did Hulk with in Ragnarok.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of Hulk in his own movie. I've really enjoyed that, but as a supportive character, like in the Avengers or in Ragnarok, I like that. That was just the right dose of Hulk for me.
Yeah, Hulk's a very boring character to do movies on. He gets
I think
angry and
so.
punches things.
Yeah, pretty much. Otherwise, you're really focusing on the story of Banner, but you're not really there to watch the story of Banner. You
Yeah,
want to see the big green guy.
yeah. No one gives a fuck about Bruce Banner, like at all.
Yeah, I mean, he can be fun at times. I mean, he had some humorous scenes in Infinity War. Kind of pulled it off. But yeah, supportive character, I'm all for that. And so, if Captain America comes back in a movie a couple years down the road,
I just want Thor to live. That's all I care about. Everyone else can die. Thor's the best character.
I think you're good. I think you're good. I think Tony's the only one that we really be worried about. Maybe what's his name, Drax?
Ah, Drax is my other favorite character.
Yeah, but I was just thinking with all the heat Bautista's been raising with the whole Guardians movie and Disney.
I will say, if they're gonna kill off characters, did they announce the Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
There is one in the works, but it's been put on hold after that whole.
Well, when we were talking about how like the movies kind of announced that some characters are gonna live, I think that most of the Guardians will stay dead.
No, no, because there was a plan for a third movie.
Exactly, but you need zero of them to do that third movie. Because they introduced the original Guardians of the Galaxy in the second movie.
So, what do you think? You would say they just do a third movie with a whole new cast?
With Sylvester Stallone and those guys? Maybe not a whole new cast. Like Rocket's probably going to be in there.
Sylvester Stallone? What the hell are you talking?
Yeah, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He's Starhawk.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they have that. Besides Yondu, who's dead, they have the entire original Guardians of the Galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy 3 could just be them plus Rocket.
That'd be risky.
That'd be fucking awesome. I'm not saying it would be risky, but that's all I'm saying is that's a situation where it's like, oh yeah, Guardians 3, but then if none of them come back, well, that was one of those kind of like, hey, we're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but we led you on kind of thing.
Well, now you're fooling yourself.
Yeah, probably.
You realize that you're fooling yourself because all these people are coming.
I don't care. I'm just saying they could do it.
They're all coming back. The only person I'm going to say
Lame.
whose fate is out there, like I said before, is Tony.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's lame.
But they'll probably bring him back too.
Maybe.
But if he sacrificed himself like he tried to do in the first Avengers movie, and that's how he went out, I'd be okay with that.
Oh yeah, because his character came full circle.
But if he just gets punked out with some lame
He just gets punched and he's dead.
explosion, or anything like that, I'd be like, what? Because these characters are iconic, they're legendary, they're heroes. They're not just going to go out like a punk,
Yeah, but he just gets punched and he's just fucking dead. Like in the last Avengers movie, he gets like clocked in the trailer, and he just like goes down really hard, and it's like, ooh shit. Yeah.
Hits his head on the curb and he's done.
Yeah, he's just fucking dead.
Well, maybe they can leave that for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, he just gets punched and he turns to dust. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very excited, but we'll see.
We will see, and it won't be much longer. But what else? Anything else about the trailer that stood out to you?
Well, he's got that van, and they did mention some shit with time travel, like you said. So they pretty much set everything up to time travel. Oh, here's the synopsis, by the way. I looked this up. Adrift in space with no food or water, Tony Stark sends a message to Pepper Potts, as his oxygen supply starts to dwindle. Meanwhile, the remaining Avengers, Thor, Black Widow, Captain America, and Bruce Banner, must figure out a way to bring back their vanquished allies for an epic showdown with Thanos, the evil demigod who decimated the planet and the universe. So that's the thing, is their whole goal will be to bring back everyone and then do one final fight.
Right, and which we assumed. Oh, I see what you're saying. Bring back everyone that was part of the decimation.
And then fight him.
Then take out Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what the synopsis of the movie says.
And it seems like that's what they're going to have to do if they're going to win.
Yeah. But if they kill off people because of the fight, that's cool too.
So another thing in the trailer, I don't know if you caught it. There's a scene there where good old Bruce Banner, our buddy Bruce Banner, is standing there, and there's some monitors that are flashing some characters.
Yeah, and all of them were like missing.
Right. Did you notice the characters?
Well, there was one that was Ant-Man. There was Spider-Man. There was Black Panther's sister. Those were the only ones I saw.
Black Panther's sister. Yeah. That was the one that caught my attention, right? Because she wasn't part of the decimation. They didn't show that. And I don't know why they wouldn't show it if she was. It would have just took another 3 seconds.
Sure, yeah.
So, Peter Parker. So basically, this is just a list of people that are unaccounted for.
Yeah, they're missing, and the Avengers just think
dead.
they're gone. Yeah, the Avengers don't know who's alive and who's not.
Right. Scott got sucked down into the quantum realm. They don't know why that he's there. Peter Parker died up on Titan, so they don't know, because the only people that know is Nebula and Tony.
Yeah.
But Shuri's missing. What the hell could she be doing to be on the missing list?
Well, she could be just missing. She could be dead. I mean, I'm just saying, although that is a possibility, you're right, they didn't show it, so it seems kind of, it seems a little silly that they wouldn't show it, but, I mean, that's possible.
It's possible, but I'm assuming she's not, so I'm just trying to rack my brain is what could she be doing? Because she's not missing, the obvious thing is she's missing to go find T'Challa, but as far as she knows, he's gone, he's dead. Because they would have told her what they seen happen.
Yeah.
So there's no her looking for him, or even a solution. I wouldn't. Well, maybe she has a solution. Maybe she has a solution to replicate what Thanos did, or something. I don't know. To me, that kind of intrigued me. I was like, wow, this is an interesting story, and I'm just like, maybe I should go back to the movies and see if there's something hidden gem in there that's alluding to a possible storyline. And maybe there's not. Maybe it's just we don't know that story until we watch the movie.
Yeah, perhaps.
But that really caught my attention when I saw that. And the other thing, people keep saying that Ant-Man is trapped in the quantum realm.
Well, so we just don't know how he gets out of the quantum realm, because at the end of the thing, the post-credit, right? They said, okay, we'll bring you back out of the quantum realm, or whatever they called it at the time. You're gonna go down here, you're gonna get this stuff, and we're gonna bring you back. And right when they were gonna bring him back, they all got decimated.
Exactly.
And then so we don't know how he gets back.
Right, but I'm just hung up on the word trapped, because I'm just thinking, if I remember correctly from the first movie, he himself went to the quantum realm, and he himself came back on his own.
Yeah, so maybe they're gonna the same exact thing that the same way he came back last time, is maybe that's how he comes back.
Right, so I don't think he's trapped. Now, the thing is, if they use time travel, because it was just quite obvious, and she's like, don't mess with whatever those bugs are, and stay away from the time vortice. I was like, what? Is he going to get sucked into a time vortice? Was that what you're hinting at?
Yeah, I mean they did mention it, So it's like one of those things like, oh, by the way, there's time travel. Don't fuck with it. It's like, oh.
And so that makes me think now. Well, maybe Ant-Man gets sucked into the time vortex, and he ends up traveling through time.
Yeah,
And not
maybe,
to change anything, but maybe he witnesses something that information he brings back to the
it's
present with
possible
him.
that he goes to the future.
To go to the future. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean anything, but he might bring back some information that they can use to defeat Thanos. That's a
Yeah.
possibility. And then it doesn't really mess with the timelines. It wasn't really an obvious, predictable thing at that point because you probably weren't thinking about it. I mean, that just hit me right now, you know. I don't even
Yeah.
know if that's what they're doing.
I think it'd be cooler if they went to the future to stop Thanos as opposed to the past.
Going to what could they do in the future?
I
to
don't
stop?
know. I'm just saying I think that'd be cooler. It'd be
I mean,
you
threw it
wouldn't be
out there.
expecting it. It's like, oh yeah, time travel, but they don't go to the past. They go to the future.
I mean, it's possible. I was just curious if you had something to back that up when you like.
No, I
when
don't
you
have anything to
throwing
back
stuff
it
out
up.
of your ass.
I'm throwing stuff out of my ass because
Yeah.
there is no other things we can talk about. At least I don't think so. I can't. I'm not super creative though.
So he goes to the future.
Yeah, so Scott Lang
Or
goes
they
to
go
the
to the
future.
future.
I don't know.
And,
they
and
stop
pull the
Thanos.
they pull the Infinity Stones out of a museum.
There you go. Wait, Spider-Man. Hold on. This is what they weren't telling you. Here you go. So the next movie is Spider-Man's called what?
Homecoming 2. I don't know. Is there a name for it?
There is. I just can't remember what it's called. Far From Home. There you
Far
go.
From Home. There you
Far
go.
From
Yeah.
Home. So it's just Spider-Man 2099.
Well, I thought that too. I thought it had something to do with the Spider-Verse, but I think it's actually taking place in London.
Oh, okay. Jeez. Man, I don't know. I'm not creative. Don't put me on the writing team.
Wait, you just come up with this thing about Spider-Man. What, he was going to go in and steal the Infinity Stones from this futuristic museum.
No, they just go to the future, but all I was saying is they go to the future, they stop freaking Thanos, but the next Spider-Man movie is not Peter Parker, it's just Spider-Man 2099. They just don't tell
it's
you.
Spider-Man.
They just don't tell you that Spider-Man movie is not Peter Parker. It's stupid. Don't listen to me.
You're just trying to pull a fast one on everybody with everything.
Yeah,
here,
I'm
it
trying
sounds
to
like.
slip one out of my ass cheeks.
It does. You wanna kill everybody off, bring back the original Guardians, and then now you want 2099 Spider-Man.
No,
Let me guess,
I
you
don't want
want-
any of that. You want to know what I want? A
You
true.
would take.
They're gonna.
I think you're gonna
They're
take
gonna.
Tony Stark out and replace him with Ironheart.
No, so god damn it, no. No, my ideal Avengers movie is this. This is the pitch. Okay, crap, guys. We just got decimated by Thanos. We need. Oh shit, is that Scott Lang? Then Scott Lang comes in and tells them, "I got this crazy van. It's got all this cool tech, and then we can use it to go to other dimensions, and we can bring down Thanos, and then we can use the gauntlet to fix everything." They're like, "Yeah, let's do it." But then they go to a different universe, and Superman shows up, and he's like, "Okay, I'll just take on Thanos myself," and he beats the shit out of Thanos, and then that's it.
But you forgot to mention the part where Scott's van says Mystery Machine on the side.
No, they didn't do that kind of crossover.
But
wouldn't
Superman
that be?
comes in, but there's no Mystery Machine.
Superman comes in and just is like, "Man, you guys suck." Batman could have handled this.
Is Lois Lane with him?
No.
Is this like a Superman Supergirl team up?
No, it's just Superman. He doesn't. That boy can lift infinity by himself. Yeah, he doesn't need help.
No, but it is cooler when he has help.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Green Lantern's also there. I'm just not creative. Like, that's why I love watching theory stuff, because it's like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. I'm the worst person for this topic today, and I apologize, 'cause I bet it was boring as hell. I'm super uncreative, so that's why I worry about the whole time travel thing, because it seems obvious. But I'm sure there are tons of cool videos out there with theories that put a twist on it that make it sound super interesting. and I'll have to go watch those.
And maybe you'll come up with something before we talk about it again.
Yeah, sure. I'll watch some theory stuff and see if people have come up with, and then we can talk about it.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. That's it for us today.
Yep.
If you like this video, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.